Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree long time ago. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you will do things differently. Only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked. Risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. Chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. We simply attempt to be fearful when others are greedy, and to be greedy only when others are fearful. Predicting rain doesn't count, building arcs does. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. When a management with a reputation of brilliance tackles a business with a reputation for bad economics, it is the reputation of business that remains intact. It's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price. Wall Street is the only place that people ride to in a Rolls Royce to get advice from those who take the subway. I always knew I was going to be rich. I don't think I ever doubted it for a minute. Should you find yourself in a chronically leaking boat, energy devoted to changing vessel is likely to be more productive than energy devoted to patching leaks. You only have to do a very few things right in your life, so long as you don't do too many things wrong. It's better to hang out with people better than you. Pick out associates whose behavior is better than yours, and you will drift in that direction. I don't look to jump over 7-foot bars. I look around for 1-foot bars that I can step over. Derivatives are financial weapons of mass destruction. In the business world, the rear view mirror is always clearer than the windshield. Time is friend of wonderful company, the enemy of the mediocre. Only buy some things that you would be perfectly happy to hold if the market shut down for 10 years. The investors of today does not profit from yesterday's growth. Look at market fluctuation as your friend rather than your enemy. Profit from folly rather than participate in it. I buy expensive suits. They just look cheap on me. When you combine ignorance and leverage, you get some pretty interesting results. I never attempt to make money on the stock market. I buy on the assumption that they could close the market the next day and not reopen it for 5 years. The business schools reward difficult, complex behavior more than simple behavior, but simple behavior is more effective. The first rule is not to lose. The second rule is not to forget the first rule. We enjoy the process far more than the proceeds. The best thing I did was to choose the right heroes. Wide diversification is only required when investors do not understand what they are doing. Be aware of geeks, bearing formulas. The only time to buy these in on a day with no why in it. Risk is a part of God's game, alike for men and nations. If you get to my age in life and nobody thinks well of you, I don't care how big your account is, your life is a disaster. If a business does well, the stock eventually follows. Value is what you get. A public opinion poll is no substitute for thought. There are 309 million people out there that are trying to improve their lot in life. And we have got a system that allows them to do it. Let blockheads read what blockheads wrote. You have no ability if you are a financial institution and you are threatened with criminal prosecution. You have no ability to negotiate.